Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Creatnprocess. In today's video, we'll look at how to wrap text in Adobe Illustrator using Make with Mesh option. In the previous video, we have seen how we can use Make with Wrap option to create out some amazing text design. We have created a nice text vector, then we created a title, and after that we have worked on a logo based design using the Make with Wrap option. In this tutorial, we'll be creating out some amazing text effect using the Make with Mesh option. So we'll be creating out some designs like using the text. We'll look at how we can use Mesh option to give some wavy look, or we'll add some nice curve to your logo, something like this, or something simple similar to this, or a vector just like this, just giving it a folding look similar to this. So let's look at how we can create out this design. The first thing we're gonna do is to understand the options and the attributes that you get. So I'll just create out this simple text design and show you the attributes. So let's type our text. So I'll just use the text tool and type out our text. FLUI, the fluid, and here's our text. Now I'll just scale this up and let's apply the effect. So I'll go to Object, Envelope Distort, and Make with Mesh option. In the previous video, we have seen how we can use Make with Wrap option. Today we'll be using the Mesh option. So click on it and you got this attribute panel. Here you got two blocks, rows and columns. So you can decide the number of rows or number of columns you want to add to your design. So I'll just preview it and you can see here. So you can increase the number of rows by just clicking on these arrows. So right now, if I check out over here, for this design we need some adjustment in our middle. So let's add some rows. Check it out, we need some over here. So let's increase it to 6 and we got the middle portion over here. So for 6, and for the columns you can either remove or you can add 1 or 2 just as per your wish, but it doesn't affect your design at all. So I'll keep it to 1 and click OK, and here we go. Here's our design. So I just select the direct selection tool now and select this middle vertices, and with a shift press the arrow key and move it on the right side, and I'll just move it until this much. And here you can see these shapes are not in perfect shape, so the best thing you can do is select them and just scale them up, and as you scale them up the details become smoother and just like this. So if you reduce it, you can see all the details are gone. So make sure that while applying the mesh option, just make sure that your texts are large. Whether you are applying it to a text or an object, make sure they are larger in size and you'll get some smooth effect over here. Here you can see they're pointed, so I'll just scale up more just to see everything is smooth. So as you can see, as I increase the shape, everything becomes smooth. Now I'll just go to Object and expand it. So go to Object and expand it and click OK, and now if I reduce it, you get your nice smooth design over there. And this is how you can create this kind of fluid text effect using the mesh option. Next we'll create out this text. So let's see how you can create this wavy looking text, and to create that it's very simple. Let's type our text first, WARP, WAP, and now as we have seen, we need to apply it to a large text. So let's increase the text size for this as well, and I'll keep it around here. And now let's apply the mesh. So I'll go to Object, Envelope Distort, and Make with Mesh, and here let's preview it. And for this design, as you can see, we need some wavy effects, so we need some sections. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll add 5 rows and we'll keep the columns 1 and click OK, and here we go, we got the rows. So now I'll use the direct selection tool, select these anchor points from here and just move it on the left side using the shift and arrow press. So I'll move it around like this. This section I'll move it on the right side a little bit. This section I'll move it on the left side, and we'll do the same for the rest. Select them and move it on the right like this, and you can do the adjustments as per your requirement. So I think this looks good. What is the next step? To give this perspective look where on the left hand side it's smaller, on the right hand side it's bigger, so we'll use the transform tool. So now select this using the direct selection tool, and we'll go to transform tool, select this icon, perspective distort, and I'll click over here at this point and click and drag up and down, and as you can see, you can give some perspective depth over here. So I'll increase it around this much and I'll just deselect this, and selecting this option free transform, just go over here and just make it like smaller. So over here, just like that, and I think this is what we want. I'll just go to object and expand it. Click on it and expand it. Now I'll just reduce the shape, and here is our design. Now this is the text we want. You can do further adjustments as per your requirement. Like if you want to keep it narrow, just click and drag it down and you got a smaller version of it. So this is how the second design is created. The third design I'm going to talk about is this logo with a little round effect to it. So we'll be using the mesh tool, and we'll use the free transform tool in a different way. So let's look at it. So I'll just place design somewhere around here. First of all, let's create the logo. So use the text tool, SOUND, sound BAR bar. So here is our text, and I'll just create these some vectors, some small details. So I'll use the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle, something like this, and with the pen tool selected, I'll just delete off this point, and we got this triangle. Just select this anchor point and just drag it down a little bit, something like that. And now I'll place this somewhere around here, and I'll just reduce the height and place it over here with a little tilt. Create under duplicate, give a little tilt to it. I'll just make it a little forward, and under duplicate and just create of it, and then just little backward, so just to give that random look. Now we'll create out this mic vector. So to create that, I'll be using the shape only. So I'll use the rectangle tool and draw out a rectangle just the same height of our text. And now I'll place it somewhere around here. I'll reduce the thickness around this much. I'll create another duplicate of it, and I'll just expand it something around like this, and I'll create another duplicate of it, and this one I'll just reduce the thickness. And now what we'll do is we'll select this, and using the free transform tool over here, to click on perspective distort and click on this icon and just drag it down to narrow it like this, and you got this shape. Now I'll just reduce the height according to our design. So I'll keep it something like this. We'll reduce the height a little bit more, something like this, just to give that depth, and just make sure they are overlapping, just to make sure that there's no gap in between. And I'll just keep it according to the height of our shape. And this one I'll just increase a little bit, and here we go, we got the mic shape. Now the next step we're gonna do is to give this little curvy look, and to do that I'll be using our previous option, that is make with web option. So what I'll do is I select these, group it up, and now we'll go to object, envelope distort, make with web option, and here we'll select this arc. And if you choose from horizontal and vertical, you can see the effect. So right now I need the curve on the vertical line, so I want it in a vertical way. So selecting that vertical, you can adjust the curve according to your needs. So if you want to give this effect something like this, you can do that, but right now we need some curviness like this. So I'll just increase the curve similar to this and click OK. So we have added that nice curve. I'll just bring this nearer to our text just to reduce any gap over there. Now selecting this, I'll expand the shape. So go to object and expand it and click OK, and here is our design. I'll just go over here and combine them, and next we'll add these details. So it's very simple. I just select this, duplicate of it, place it somewhere around here. Let's apply white color and arrange it to front, and using the die selection tool, just make them similar to this, and this one I'll just extend it similar to this. So we added that nice detail. Draw out one more stuff. Using the pen tool, I'll just create a vector for holders. Now select these two and let's subtract using the pathfinder, and here we go, our logo is ready. Now to give this effects, this little curve effect, we'll use the mesh tool. So select everything, group it up, and now let's increase the size a little bit just to see the details we are working on. And I'll go to object, envelope distort, make with mesh, and here preview it, and here is our design. So right now for this design we need to add columns, so let's add some columns. So click and increase the number of columns, so and make sure that you're not adding it a lot. Add the number of columns you require to do the adjustment, just that. And I'll reduce the number of rows for this design and only work, and let's add one just to make sure that there is a stable balance over there, and add this column around 5 and click OK. So we got all these vectors just to do the adjustments. Now I'll select the free transform tool, and using the perspective transform, just click on this and reduce the size just to give that perspective look. So as we have added a perspective look, the next step we're gonna do is to add that little curve, and to do that we'll be using the direct selection tool. Let's select this, and selecting these anchor points, we'll go to transform tool and just rotate it like this. And I'll again use the direct selection tool, select the other remaining 2 section, and free transform tool, just rotate it similar to this. We'll again select the last piece, and using the free transform tool, just rotate it something like that. We'll do the same thing for this side as well. So selecting these and using the free transform tool, just make a little curve. And once you have done these, make sure that all the handles are smooth. So go in there, just make it smoother, click the handles, and just maintain the flow of your design. Just click and drag just to maintain the flow. And once you have done that, as you can see, we got a nice interesting look over here. And if you want to do further adjustments, you can easily do that. If you want to increase the perspective depth, just select the perspective tool and click on it and make it a little more narrower. And I think if you want to like reduce this section, you can just move forward just like this and place it something like here, and you get that nice look over here like that. This is how you can create a nice logo using the mesh option in Envelope Distort. Now the next step we're going to do is to create this text bloop effect in Illustrator. So to create that, we'll again follow the same steps. So I'll just place this design aside, and now let's create a text. So let's type our text MIDDLE middle, enter. I'll just go to alignment here and set it to center like that, and let's increase the size and thing like this. And now let's apply mesh. So I'll go to object, go to Envelope Distort, make with mesh, and for this design again we want to apply some section in rows. So I'll increase the rows, number of rows, and let's count it out. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So we'll need 8 rows. So I'll add 8 around here, and for this column we can reduce it to minimum and click OK. And now let's give that effect. So I'll just use the direct selection tool to select the anchor points. So use the direct selection tool and just click over here and move it on the left side, and like this. We'll again select this, move it on the right side, this one, move it on the left side. So just follow along and do this for all the other sections just to create some wave look to your design. And if you zoom it in and you feel like some of the shapes are distorted, the simple step is to just scale up this text and see if everything is smooth now. So now once you have get that, we'll use the free transform tool selected, just click over here and click and drag it up like this, and you can give an angular tilt to your design. And I'll just expand it. I'll just go to object, expand, click OK, and here is our text effect we have given using the make with mesh option. So here's our text, and after that you can change the background, adjust the color. That's as per your choice. Now the last step we're going to do is to look at how you can create this vector design. It seems like there's a depth in it, so it's very simple. Let's create that out. So I'll be using the rectangle tool, and let's draw out a rectangle something like this. And to make the corners round, use the direct selection tool and make them round like that. And now let's work on it. To create these sections, there's 1 2 3 4 sections out there. Let's use the stroke option to create that shape. So I'll select this and go to appearance, and here is our stroke. So let's apply our first stroke. Let's apply red, and I'll go inside stroke and change it to like this, as a line stroke to inside, just to make sure that it's inside our shape. And let's increase the thickness around 4. Let's see how it looks. So I'll just increase the size a little bit more and make the corners round. And now I'll increase the size. If I give 5, it's very huge, so let's give it around 4. Then I'll create another duplicate of the stroke stroke, something like this. Click and drag and drop it to the layer, and it will create a new duplicate of the stroke. Select the second and choose something different color, and let's apply something 7. I'm adding 3 millimeter inside, so 4 plus 3 is 7. Let's see. Okay, that thickness, I'll create another duplicate of it, and for this stroke I'll give it red again, and over here I'll add 4 millimeters. 7 plus 4, that is 11, so I'll enter 11, and you got that thickness. And as you can see, we need to do some adjustments over here, so I'll increase the first stroke to 5 just to make sure that the inner portion is thinner, so I'll apply 5. Then for this, 5 plus 3, what we get is 8. Let's see, and over here 8 plus 5 is 13, and I think this looks good. So now select this, go to object and expand appearance, and here we go. And after that, using the shape builder tool, I just make sure that this section is separate, this section is separate, ungroup it. So select this and bring it out, and rest I'll delete it out. And now here is our basic shape of the design. Let's add this section, so I'll use the rectangle tool again and draw the shape something like this, and make the corners round like that, and place this somewhere around here. So this is our basic design. So now let's group this up, Ctrl G or Command G, and let's apply that effect. So as you can see, they have shifted the position in the middle. So what I'll do is I'll select this, go to object and the Adobe Store, make it mesh, and let's add rows like this, and this would be the middle section. I'll just add one more, 9, and here we go, this is the middle section now. So I'll add 9 rows and 1 column and click OK. And now using the die selection tool, select these down sections and shift it on the left side, similar to this, and I'll just bring it up, something like that. And if you see the shapes are not smooth, the simplest way is to increase the size. So let's increase the size, and it becomes smoother. And now I'll just rotate this to an angle with the shift press, 45-degree angle, and here we go. I'll just object expand it and place it somewhere around here. And for this design, let's pick this color, and here is our final output. So as you can see, make with mesh option is very simple. Using the mesh option, you can create some interesting design similar to this, whether you are creating a logo or a text vector or some graphic typography effects. You can use it and create some interesting design. In the next tutorial, we'll look at how you can reshape a text using the object. So we can apply the text to any shape, like you want to apply to a circle or a rectangle or a square, or you want to apply in a perspective way. You can do that using the make to top object. And we'll also look at how we can use those tools in different scenarios. So don't forget to check out the next tutorial coming up. And if you want more updates on designing, don't forget to like, share and subscribe this channel. Thank you.